Hi, grade 9. So today we are going to be working with vector graphics. So far, all the artwork and images that we have worked on in GIMP, they were called raster graphics. But there is another category of computer graphics which is called vector graphics. So vector images are basically made up of not of the pixels like in the raster. They are actually made up of, joining points on screen and making curves. So if you see, if you want to draw a sort of a curve like this, we have two anchor points, which means a starting point and an ending point, which is a curve, which draws a curve. And then there are two handlers. So if you adjust these handlers to a certain angle, you can actually change the shape of this curve. So vector images are made up of mathematical algorithms and sort of formulas to create shapes on screen. Okay, now both vector and raster have their own advantages and disadvantages, but scalability of images is the major strength area, I would say, which vector images have. Okay, because even if you zoom vector images to the largest possible extent, you will not see any quality being downgraded. But in case of raster images, once you really zoom into a picture, you can see the pixels really bleeding. Okay, that does not happen with vectors because vector quantities, as I said, is made up of mathematical formulas, so you can scale them. Okay, you can even see a zoomed in image. So there's an eye, maybe there was this was a big picture and the zooming in happened on the eye of the character, and if you see, the raster image really started bleeding, the pixels are clearly visible and the quality has downgraded. But in case of vector images, the quality remains as just the same as it's with a normal sized picture. So scalability is the major advantage. So today we are going to be working with the vector images, and the first thing that I want you to do in this class is to go onto this link, which is https method.ac. Now over here, when you go, this is sort of a I would say a free website available for you to try out some drawing and some tools, and it helps you to basically practice the creation of these curves. Okay, so although the Boolean game is also a very nice game, you can do it, but for today's lesson the most relevant game is the Bezier game. So Bezier curves, you will learn how to use the pen tool to use these Bezier curves. Okay, so when you go on here, I would seriously suggest that do not skip the tutorial stages. So it will help you to just draw and learn what are these handlers and how does this work. Okay, so this is done, and then you join this node, and this helps you to actually make accurate pen tool Bezier curves. So this was pretty easy. You can start from here, and then just join the nodes. This is easy because this is pretty straight, but when you have images which have curves available, it's going to be a little more complicated than this. So this was just about tracing the image. Okay, now look at this one, how they are drawing. So you join the four dots, okay, and then use the handler. So if you have to join this, so let's say this and then this, but then these handlers are important. So you have to really stretch them so that an accurate shape can be drawn, and then you carry on with the game. So once you are done with this sort of a game, once you actually skip tutorial stages, it will give you some more complicated shapes to practice your pen drawings. So it will tell you how many nodes are there available, and you can go anyway. I can go from this side and trace the bottom part of the car and then go upwards, or if you want to first trace the upper part of this a car and then go towards the downside of this one, you can do it the way you want. Okay, so it has to be accurate, and this is how it will teach you. So once you've got some practice with this, then you should go to a vector drawing software which is called vector.com. It's www.vectr.com. There is no TOR, it's www.vectr.com, which is a free online vector graphics editor. So once you're done with that Bezier game, you should go here and simply use the option use online. and it will give you some place. So create new. We want to start with a new file which will give you a blank page to create your artwork. Although this is a very nice tool, the only annoying part is of course the ads on the side. Okay, but otherwise it's fine. So over here I'm gonna be uploading an image. I think it's this one. Let me see if this, yeah, this is the image. So if it doesn't fit on your screen, of course you can use these handlers to increase or decrease the size of it. Otherwise you can even change the dimensions from the right hand side as I'm doing. So just so that you can fit it on the screen. Now here there are some tools available. The same pen tool that you have seen on that Bezier game is also available over here for you to trace the image and add colors. Otherwise, if you want to do freehand drawing, you can even do it this way. Okay. Or before uploading the picture, I should actually show you these two things. So if I choose the pen tool, I can actually draw this sort of curves here. So I can use this. Okay. And then create curves with the handlers like that. So whatever curves I want, right? That's one thing. Otherwise, what you can do is, let me delete this. And otherwise, you can actually use a pencil tool to create more freehand drawing, but this is not going to be very accurate and you will have lesser control actually on the image that you're creating. So that you can do. Otherwise, there are some other options also if you want to use some shapes also on your artwork. Let's say these shapes. So a lot of basic shapes are also available in this tool. So let me just try and drag a square, oh sorry, rounded sort of a square, and then I can drag a circle like that. Okay. Now you can do many other operations from it. Like for example, if I want to select both these images together, I can actually drag down my area, this thing, and just like you take a screenshot, you can select both the images together. Otherwise, you can select one image and then hold down the shift key and select the other image. So once you've got this, you can actually use some of the operations on these images, such as if you want to unite these two images together or do a union operation, basically, you can use this. Okay, so which means you are grouping the images and they are like becoming one now. This is one image. Okay. Otherwise, you have something like subtract, which is going to do something like this. Okay, subtract one image from the another. You can even only see the intersection. So you can clearly see this area is the intersection of these images. So it will just give you the intersection part. Okay. And if you use the exclude option, it is going to exclude the intersection part and show you all the rest of the images. That's how. Okay. So if in the artwork that you are going to create through this, if you want to use any of these Boolean operations also, you can use these. Okay. Otherwise, what we can do for now, we can just upload the same image that I had uploaded earlier, and we can just start adding some color and some curves to actually transform this raster image into a vector image. Okay, so this is an already sort of a drawing which I found on the internet, and I would say that whichever drawing you are choosing, choose a simple one. Okay, like over here you can clearly see if I want to trace this picture and do anything with it, it is not going to be too difficult for me because this is a simple image, right? So I'm only trying to convert a very simple image made up of basic shapes. You can see, I mean, these are simple lines, simple curves that I can easily trace. Okay, so choose a simple image in the beginning from the internet, download it, and then upload it on your computer here in the vector platform. And then what you can do, you can actually, as I said, you can try using a pencil tool or even a pen tool, whichever you like, but start tracing it. Like let me just begin from the girl's hand over here. So I'm going to be just using a pen tool. Okay, and wherever there are curves involved, I will curve it. Like if I click here, then I can easily like curve it the way I want. Okay, like that. Okay, and then of course you don't have to really worry too much about the accuracy right now, because we are going to be, I think if you have used it before, very nice. If you haven't used it before, and you can always control Z, like if I made a mistake or if I'm not really satisfied with my curve that I've traced, I can always just go back. And so I'm tracing this very simply, something which is very quite similar to GIMP, but GIMP, as I said, was more freehand that you tried. And here what I'm trying to do is just use these curves, and this is a mathematical stuff that's happening. Okay, and I'm just trying to choose this area first of all to select this curve. Okay, so I have got this portion now. Okay, this portion, and let's say I want to color the shirt of this color, the girl, as some color like from here. Okay, so this is done from my side. Of course I will come back to the hand and the hair and everything of the two girls, but for once I've just done this much. Okay, next thing that I can do, I this time I can use a pencil tool for a freehand drawing of this girl's hair. So I can just like literally not really worrying about the accuracy as of now, just tracing the hair area of the first girl on the left. Okay, so this is done. And if you choose this, you can choose a color for this girl's hair. Could be black or could be any other shade that you like. Okay, so once that is done, as you can clearly see, I mean, I want the hand to be on top of her hair the way it was. Okay, so you can select this area and you can say send to back. Okay, so when you say send to back, it will be a normal picture just the way you want, right? And same thing, I can now this time I can try with the maybe pen tool and try tracing the girl's head, but of course uh, I will actually choose these curves to have a nice curve created. Okay, like that. Wherever you are not satisfied, you can always use Control Z for undoing something. Okay, so see, the curve is created, and of course you might have had already some practice from the Bezier game that I had asked you to play earlier. Okay, let me Control Z the last one because I'm not really satisfied with the last curve that I created from here to here. Okay, right? Yeah, I think it's fine now. Okay, and let me select this part and choose some other color for this girl's hair, maybe something like brownish or something. Okay, it's not going to be very accurate, of course, as you can see. And then let me choose a pencil tool for this girl's you know, this thing, her shirt that she's wearing. Okay, and you can just go up till here, like I mean the entire area like that, and we can send it to back later, right? You've done this, and now when you select it, so entire portion will be selected, and this time let me choose some other color for her shirt. Could be like any other color, right? But of course I don't want it this way. I want it to send it to back, so you might have to wait up a bit because it will, you know, do its job like this. Yeah, even the hair need to come. Yeah, that's how it is. Okay, so this is how you create a vector image. I'm sure you will be able to add the color to the bag, and even if you want to add, you know, some landscape like maybe blue sky to this picture, you can always trace that blue sky and color it to blue. Even if you want some clouds, like something like, you know, this sort of, it's very not very accurate, but you can always add some clouds. So when I select this, I can always add a blue kind of a color. Okay, and something for the clouds, not really accurate here. Blue color, something sky, sort of a blue. Okay, and then you can actually, you know, decrease the opacity also a little bit. so that the cloud is more blended in, like a little bit this thing. Okay, so that is something that can be done, right? You can even remove the border just like I did right now, so it is more blended in with the color of the sky. So once you are done with this, this is now a vector graphics file because you've created this entire thing using the pen tool and the curves and mathematical equations, which is of course not visible for you in the front end, but that's happening in the back end. Okay, and once you're satisfied with the picture, you can always export it, right? And I would suggest, let's say SVG is a good format, but if you want to really download and share it, I think PNG is good because it's a lossless format. So download it, okay, and it will be available like this. You can open it and see what you've created. And I would love to see your artwork. So by the end of the lesson, please send what you've created, even if not very good, even if it is as mediocre like the one you see right now on your screen. It's fine. It's just the first class. And let's do something fun today.